Imagine a normal laboratory setting. I'm sure you're imagining Erlenmeyer's white lab coats and competent scientists. If you're more versed in the subject, you might be imagining spectrophotometers, micropipettes, calibration curves, and waste management of dangerous chemicals. I'm here to tell you that laboratory settings need to consider another way of waste management: plastic residue management. We often assume that in laboratories, as long as health is accounted for, everything runs smoothly. It is indeed important to make sure that dangerous waste, like metals, acids, or other corrosive substances, are neutralized before being thrown away, either by the laboratory itself or by a third party. But by assuming that that's the only waste to take into account, we forget the small actions that build up and end up having a much bigger impact in our future. As a laboratory techniques student, I witness how much plastic one person can produce for 2 or 3 hours at once. This amount, multiplied by a full workday and a full work week, in a year it builds up. And this amount is only produced by one person, when every laboratory facility employs dozens or maybe hundreds of people. The total amount of plastic produced by laboratories worldwide, as mentioned in my report, is estimated to be 5.5 million tons annually. Governments everywhere are trying to figure out ways to reduce their environmental impact without compromising their economy, but they haven't deemed necessary to impose guidelines for laboratory plastic consumption, which is why I'm asking the Department of Employment and Social Development Canada to update said guidelines. Reducing plastic use or recycling non-hazardous plastic residue is within the realm of possibility. In fact, many facilities have succeeded in doing so. Their teams have taken initiative and they have used techniques such as adapting protocols to use less material or replacing plastic with glassware when possible. They saw a significant reduction in the amount of plastic they used each week. These laboratories are our proof that it is possible, and if legislation is created to control this plastic output, there can be a real positive impact on our planet's health. There are already rules on how laboratories should be operated. These rules were made to protect everyone that could be affected by the experiments, including communities that could suffer if their water reserve is polluted by chemical releases, or workers that could suffer long-term consequences from repeated exposures to dangerous products. For example, while a single application of acetone on the skin will only dry it out for a short time, a repeated exposure will cause serious issues like fissures or peeling. That's the reason workers wear gloves when handling acetone. This could be compared to plastic use in the laboratory. A 1 kilogram of plastic is not much more than an occupied space in a garbage bin, but millions of tons can severely affect our health, indirectly, by damaging the planet first. It's time to wear metaphorical gloves to protect ourselves from the harm this overlooked issue can cause by updating the laboratory guidelines to include safe ecological practices. This should become the norm. The best way to guarantee an environmental effort from our laboratories is by demanding that a plan to reduce plastic use be in place, and that they adopt protocols to fit our modern environmental concerns when possible. To make sure laboratories are respecting these rules, your department could require weekly or monthly reports of plastic use and analysis on how it has changed over time. This could create a new job in laboratory settings: environmental project laboratory manager. Their responsibilities would be analyzing ways in which the laboratory could lessen their environmental impact and implementing them, as well as making sure all environmental reports are up to date and could be consulted by any government inspector if necessary. To broadcast new government requirements for laboratories, we could reach out to specialized and general public communications. Specialized communications, like scientific reports and governmental documents, could explain in detail the new rules concerning plastic waste, while general public communications could spread the information to people interested in the subject. If you're interested in pursuing this project with me, read my extensive essay on the issue and reach out to me. After all, no one can make a significant change alone.